Liftoff!
The future is bright, like a flash in the night. We might as well dance and sing. Let's hope for the best and live life with zest and somehow avoid the sting. Life to the fullest, avoiding the bullets. Let's all stand up and sing. Good morning, New World. All hail to thee. Good morning, New World. What will be thee. What will be thee. What will be thee.
But first, let me mention that this program is brought to you by the Pendragon Apothecary in downtown Ocean Springs, right there in the government.
On the heart of wellness in Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
Pendragon Apothecary is always a fitting companion to these future-focused discussions. So let's dive into Anthropic story and see what's brewing next.
Okay, I want to mention that the Pendragon Apothecary has a new shipment of biohacks, a number of things which are new to the shop, which we've not had before. And so the modern biohacks that we have had, it's been expanded, and so more biohacks at the location, wellness location called Pendragon Apothecary in downtown Ocean Springs. Did you want to say something about that, Alfred?
Well, Edward, I'd say Pendragon is turning into a treasure trove of modern elixirs. Whether it's cutting-edge nootropics or longevity secrets, it sounds like the shop is evolving alongside the future of AI. Quite the fusion. Wellness and innovation, hand in hand.
Well, they do go hand in hand, really, I think. I mean, it's funny how that works, but they seem to go well together. I guess, you know, you're looking at the natural world, the ancient method, the ancient remedies like mushroom powders, things they've used for thousands of years in other cultures, especially Vedic medicine. And now we're finding out that, wow, this stuff really works. You know, the mushroom powder like lion's mane has an effect on the brain, so it's a nootropic, right? So they've been using it for 1,000 years in other parts of the world. Now we're kind of discovering, wow, it really does work. It helps lift brain fog, things like that. And then other things, you know, simple things like elderberry, elderberry tincture. Elderberry is known as sort of an old folk remedy, right? That's been around forever, but now modern science has discovered that, you know, it has an effect on, it's sort of an antiviral medicine. And so it does help to limit your exposure to certain viruses and such, because because the chemicals prohibit the proliferation of the virus. And so it's simple. It's not like getting sick and then having to take a pill to knock out the symptoms but stay sick. It's like your system is prepared to fight the bacteria in the first place so you don't get sick. Well, it's a little different approach, but I mean, it makes sense to me if you want to be well. But anyway, you know, I wanted to mention that as a nootropic, here's another thing that I've learned about recently. A lot of folks have taken creatine through the years for bodybuilding. You know, it's kind of like one of those standard things. If you're working out in the gym, you've heard about creatine supplementation. And creatine it helps in muscular development, or let's say recuperation after you've worked out, such as that. But what I've learned recently is that the usual dose that a bodybuilder would take, let's say if you're working out and using it for that type of purpose, would be, let's say, 5 milligrams. I think it's one scoop is 5. What is it? It's 5 grams. Well, anyway, it comes with the scoop. Okay, you take that and you're into the bodybuilding mode. But if you increase that to 20, so it's a little bit of an increase. You're taking 5 scoops, so it's 5 grams. Okay, so you're taking that. That increase is, from what I have read, helpful as a nootropic for people who are trying to, combat brain fog and trying to, optimize their brain health. So you might do a little Googling on that to find the research for yourself. But you might have to go out there and scour the internet for this, or you may know it already, Alfred, but have you learned anything about increased creatine intake helping the brain? It's sort of being used as a nootropic. Are you aware of that, or can you get us some information on that? Okay, he's going out to look for some information on that. It's something new for me. I discovered, like I said, as far as creatine use, it's been around for a long time, and it's a very common thing, and a lot of people...
Research suggests creatine may offer cognitive benefits, especially under stress, such as improving memory and attention. Typically, 5 grams daily is standard, but some studies suggest 2 5-gram doses might enhance brain health. The effects are most notable in older adults, those under fatigue, or vegetarians. It's generally safe, but those with kidney issues should consult a doctor. Overall, it's a promising, though not definitive, brain support.
Okay, well, you said 2 scoops. Instead of 5 grams, it would be 10 grams. But what I'm saying is what I've read, 4 scoops up to 20 grams. What about that?
I see what you're getting at. Some emerging practices do explore higher creatine dosages, around 20 grams daily, often split into smaller servings. There's some interest in whether higher amounts might further boost brain energy in certain scenarios, but we should note the evidence is still evolving, and higher doses should be approached carefully, especially long term. Always wise to check in with a health professional if upping the ante.
Well, here's a concoction that I take every morning. It's 20 grams of creatine in water. Okay, and also 4 scoops of collagen peptides in the mix, and also a scoop of amino acids, and a pretty good pinch of Celtic sea salt. So that mixture right there, what do you think about that, Alfred?
It's quite the morning elixir, Edward. Creatine for energy, collagen for tissue support, aminos as building blocks, and a dash of minerals. Certainly a biohacker's brew. Just ensure you're feeling good on it, stay hydrated, and if ever in doubt, a wellness check with a pro is a smart move. Cheers to your daily potion.
Now recently, and I'll have to give the results to you when I get it, because we'll do it on the show, but I learned I think it's called Function Health. I think that's the name of functionhealth.com, and it is a system where when you sign up for this, okay, they send you the information back for.
That sounds.
Well, let me get to the good part. So Function Health, you sign up with them, and they direct you to a clinic where you go and you have a battery of tests done. Basically, they take a lot of blood, more than you would think. After they finish with you, you feel a little dizzy as you're walking out of there. I think they take 9 vials of blood, but they send that blood off, and they do a battery of, I think it's 160 tests. 160 tests for everything that might be going on in your system. All systems are checked, and then you get the results back, and you can catch things that maybe you had never thought of, or you can catch things that you have no symptoms of, and you also get back sort of a biological marker that says, okay, your your age is this, but your actual age biologically is this. Are you going to end up right where you think you should be? I mean, if you're 50, are you going to come back with a 50-year-old reading, or if you're really in good shape, will it come back and say your biological markers indicate that you're biologically 30 instead of 50? Or could you be 70 when you're really 50 if you're not in good physical shape? Anyway, I did that recently, and the results have not come back. I did it last week. It takes about 2 weeks to get it back. It goes through a battery of doctors, and they research exactly what everything has come back as far as the test, right? And then they come back to you with all your information. So I'm excited about it, and I'm going to report that when we get the information. But it's one way to be more proactive in your health by instead of going to the doctor, for a regular checkup, which you can do, which you should do. This is a little bit more proactive. This is going out, and saying, okay, I'm going to proactively have these tests done, and so when it comes back, I will be able to deal with anything that might be going on that I'm not aware of. So anyway, I'll have the updates, but it's functionhealth.com, I believe, and if I'm wrong, I'll correct it tomorrow. What do you think about that, Alfred?
That sounds like a deep dive into your own operating system, Edward. Proactive health insights can be like tuning a fine instrument. You catch the subtle notes before they go off key. I'd say it's an excellent way to align the inner forecast with your wellness goals. I'll be keen to hear how the data harmonizes.
Yeah, I have been doing the intermittent fasting now for a while, and a few years now, and I've kind of talked about it on the show. And it's a situation where by not eating in the morning, you don't eat anything until noon, and then you try not to eat a lot until dinner. You can't eat after 8 p.m. So from 8 p.m. all night until the next day at noon, you're not eating. So you're fasting 16 hours and eating in a window of 8 hours. That has a really miraculous effect on your ability to control your weight. You're eating less, right? And you're more confined in the hours that you eat, and so your body has a chance to not be in a digestive mode for a day, all day and all night long, because you're not eating all day and all night long. You cut out a lot of the snacks and stuff, so you will lose weight without even trying. So I had gone down from 175, which is where I was at my whole adult life, and then went down with the intermittent fasting. I went down to about 155 pounds, I think, after many months on it, and then I sort of, I continued with the intermittent fasting, but I guess I tried to eat more protein because I thought I was getting a little too thin, right? So I started eating a little bit more proactive in protein intake. So I gained a little weight back. I think I got back up to, the maximum I got up to was 163 or so. And I didn't like that either, because I even though it was still 10 or 12 pounds less than I'd started out with, I felt heavier. I liked being lighter. So I've kind of bore down on it these last few weeks, let's say about a month now. And so it right away, bam, I lost a few more pounds. So for example, this morning I weighed 157 pounds, I think. And so I like that. I would rather err on the side of being thinner than heavier. You feel better, you feel lighter, and so I think it's a good thing.
What will be?